Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's Metaworld News. It's our headline show for the week ending 29th of March of the year 2020. And will this be the last year in the history of civilization? I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
But for the moment, we're seeing 2020. It's been convenient so far, but that's about all I can say as we croak our way through live broadcasts. Okay. Got a nice little picture on screen for you now. This is the message: spread virtual reality, not the virus. Um, Pretty obvious, really, but there again, maybe not obvious to everybody. So there you go. Right, my name is Mal Burns. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/MalBurns, MALBURNS, or one word. You can also find us at twitter.com/MetaWorldNews, also all one word. And there are links in those feeds to the various things I'll be discussing this week. And not that there is that much of it. It's the first week for a long while that I haven't had a browser full of tabs to show you. That didn't seem to um, well, let's just say my browser was crashing willy nilly, even with a few tabs open. So very odd. One of the sad things about what's going on at the moment is that the interwebs, as we jokingly call them sometimes, really are. I don't say they're slowing down to a halt, but they're now being of necessity so overused that you actually begin to realise that quite possibly the networks can't really scale. As much as we thought they could, and some of the faster ones are slowing down, and some of the slow ones are being artificially boosted because people need them. Anyway, that's a whole different story, but something we need to be aware of. I'm sure any of you who stream Netflix or YouTube or any of those other wonderful services online will wonder how your 4K broadcast has now become 480p. Well, of course, this is because they've been told to cut the quality of broadcasts so they're not clogging up the interwebs. And yep, all falling apart. I must not be pessimistic though. I am joined in the studio, however, by James Atloud. He's sitting here next to me. Hi, James.
Howdy, Mal. How you doing? I've got no lip
Um,
movement today, so another
no,
another
but
aspect of the internet that's acting
I've actually
quirky.
had no. Yes, I've actually had no lip movement here for a long while.
That's
that's
true.
that's that's another point. That's to do with my mesh being a mess. Yes, you heard me. My mesh being a mess.
Trademark that.
I will. I'm Mal the Mess Mesh.
There you go.
Yes, that's my new name, Mal the Mess Mesh. Or the it's a bit of a tongue twister there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. James here is very kindly taking care of the video side of this. Not only does he stream my avatar's mugshot to you, but he also streams my desktop where you can see all the stuff I'm talking about and try and put the two of those together to make sense. Emphasis on try, I suppose.
Try. Yep.
Right. Pardon me, as you might probably come as no surprise that I am coughing, although I got a bit of phlegm in my cough. You don't want to know that, but that should be suffice to tell you that it's not the Corona coffee, it's other coffee, whatever that's about. Right.
Jamaican.
Uh, Yeah, it's coughs plus a. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I hope it's not the corona. What's it anyway? Because everybody's dropping like flies around me at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Let's get on with the show, so to speak. I'm going to put that pretty picture away, and I'm going to change my screen share to the most recent tab I've got open. As I said, very few this week. This particular tab is pointing to a website, www.vrfocus.com. So that's vrfocus.com. And this post was on March 24th, earlier in the week. It's nothing really new here, back on the haptic front and everything, but basically a company called Manus brings your entire body into VR with its polygon system. And if you're wondering what the polygon system is all about, well, if you take eye tracking, hand tracking, headset tracking, everything you can possibly think of, and put them all together, you've got Manus's polygon. Yeah. It's got a bit of Vive and a bit of CloudGate and a bit of, it's a solution rather than an individual product. It uses 5 Vive trackers. But if you are into the all-embracing headset land of virtual reality, this may be of interest. There hasn't been that much so-called VR inverted commerce news this week. I think people are finally realizing that you're not going to be going out and buying headsets or new iPhones or anything else at the moment. It's really a matter of who's got it and your ready-made audience. Um, but that's it there. So they do talk quite a bit about it. They have a network object tracking feature, which means all users see object locations in real time, no matter who's actually using it. That sounds a little bit like Second Life or OpenSim, doesn't it? Gosh golly, where we're sitting at the moment. What's new about this? Well, presumably the fact that you're in a headset and get your avatar chopped off at the waist. Or maybe not, depending. Anyway, there's a video you're playing away there. I am moving on, but you'll find that at vrfocus.com. And this is news.artnet.com. So it's news, I'm sure you can spell that, dot, artnet.com. And again, March 24th, earlier in the week, Naomi Ray reporting a famous art dealer's son is launching a new platform for galleries to create virtual reality exhibitions using 3D scanning technology. And needless to say, this is an early response to the fact that, uh-oh, it's doing it again. Huh. Okay, as you might be able to see, am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay. Oh, I'm still here. Okay.
Yep.
Well, my screen isn't for some reason.
Yeah, usually your voice goes away before anything else if the internet goes down. So I think
Yeah, that's what I
internet's okay.
thought. I don't. Basically, my scroll button is not working on that tab. Okay, I'm gonna have to move to the next tab then. So the same thing that was happening earlier is happening again. Okay, next tab by Charlie Fink here. This is at Forbes. It's www.forbes.com. And earlier in the week again, well, 25th, that would be Tuesday or Wednesday. This is about something called Avatar, which brings reality to virtual reality. It's a new group collaboration system that allows a remote host to bring virtual teammates, customers, and/or workers to a job site for group collaboration. The host is in the physical world using consumer-grade 360 camera attached to a selfie stick and Android device. Remote guests up to 5 join the host using an Oculus Go hand-mounted display or desktop, laptop, computer, or a mobile phone. Sorry, that should be Oculus Go head-mounted display. I don't know how you do it as a hand-mounted display. Anyway, and share the 360 view broadcast as if they were present. And the 360 view is the room as such where the simulation and all the action takes place. People see each other as three-dimensional spatial avatars. If that picture is anything to go by, that only includes a head and neck. Um, it was another place where I think they're
Looks like an Oculus
disposing.
avatar.
Yeah, I think they're disposing of waste there.
Hmm.
You know, definitely. Oculus is definitely not a wasteland.
What?
Yeah, that was meant to be funny. I was
Okay.
expecting you to laugh, James.
Okay.
Oculus is not a wasteland.
I.
Although some would argue
Yeah.
in the other
Is that decision out? I don't know.
some some would argue the other meaning of the word it is. But
Yeah.
never mind.
Yep.
Let's carry on. Get
I
myself out.
see. Oh, the pun evaded me. Waste
Oh,
as
you
in the
got it.
thing around which your belt goes. Okay. I
Yes.
see. I see.
It's not a wasteland because there ain't no waste. Oh yeah, never mind, never mind. It's the season of it, isn't it? Oh
Yep.
God, we're back to that again. Back to white screen again. Actually, I think something's odd here. It's actually showing me the menus here, but none of the. Yeah. Anyway, somebody brought on a famous art gallery. Okay, relevant to everything, I suppose. Will the coronavirus boost VR? Um, Chances are it will. You can't rightfully come on air and say, well, there's one good thing about this virus. I mean, there is nothing good about possibly a world-ending plague. But it is true that when you can't go out and you're locked away in your own little closets, virtual reality, if you've got the kit for it, may well be a bit of a godsend in terms of, I don't know, occupying yourself or communicating with others, or even work if you're in some kind of work situation that allows for it. So, experts are saying social activities and entertainment in VR will be more attractive in the long term as people are stuck at home during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I do fear that may be long term. The latest reports I got in London here today is so we even on a good day we're not going to be we won't be out of this until September. Wait for it, 2021. Right, that's 18 months of being locked down in our spaces, and that's if all goes well and it gets controlled. So we're don't want to think about it, really, do we? Um, anyway, even if I have to add to this, of course, that even if you don't have a headset and aren't particularly into sort of cutting yourself off to that extent from audio visual inputs around you, there are plenty of social virtual worlds like OpenSim here or Second Life on screen that you can use. I may be introducing a little bit more coverage of ye olde. It's actually a walled garden place called Second Life into this over shortly regarding destinations or particular things that I think are relevant to a greater metaverse, um, especially as a 2D screen experience. There are actually not nearly as many of those around as we would like. And I think our commitment to open source only might just go out the window for a short time in the interest of bringing you a bit about everything that's there. But we will see. We will see about that when I've made my mind up, because I certainly haven't made my mind up about anything today. Okay. Technology has improved immensely. It's never managed to lure people away from the real world, but the devices are bulky and pricey, and the VR experience often isn't as great as it's made to be. But with the pandemic spreading rapidly across the globe, there's cause to rethink the virtual reality tech. Being cooped up at home is bad enough. But is being cooped up at home bad enough to get people to turn on VR when screens often suffice for gaming and chatting? Anyway, you can read more about that, and this is a site called abacusnews.com. So I'm going to spell that. It's www dot and then it's abacusnews.com. So abacus dot abacusnews.com. Abacus News, all being one word, so to speak. And yeah, you can get notifications too from them, by the way. Look at that. Yes. I'm going to click not now, because obviously I've got their feed coming from somewhere anyway. Right. Click away. Okay, now a bit of self-appraisement here, I suppose, in a way. The Virtual World's Best Practices in Education conference happened in Second Life, in fact, online all this week, or rather Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The last day was yesterday. It's been going for what, about 15 years or something, or no, 13th year.
Hmm.
Um, and it's always been like this, but obviously it took on a new resonance this year, being as it's an online, fully fleshed out 3D event. It's not, unless you have a special viewer, which doesn't work particularly well, you can't really see Second Life in VR per se, but it's just as good on your screen. Um, the well, I say it's just as good on your screen. This year's location was not exactly um, or what do they call it? Fast, furious, and easy. It's actually sort of celebrates 3D space by occupying 3D space, and it's all the metaphors for things like pathways and seating and stuff are completely absent, and it's a bit odd for people who aren't familiar with the platform and tend to rely on those familiar metaphors to actually navigate. But Aside from that, a lot of interesting sessions and stuff. James and I filmed three keynotes and two editions of something called Above the Book, which is an interview show that I actually did myself this year at Kevin Feenan's request. Plus, I believe the closing ceremony last night will be out somewhere. There are also a whole load of volunteers also filming other sessions, so there's quite a lot of it online. They don't seem to be readily available yet. They have been posted, but what's been posted is the time slot of their recording. And for example, my interview with the Lindens, the one that's on screen at the moment, you have to wait for 15 minutes of blank screen before the thing actually starts because somebody somewhere it wasn't James. Don't worry. Somebody somewhere, however, was pressing buttons well ahead of schedule, and then not using YouTube's editor even to even do a quick crop of the beginning. So if you want to watch this, you're going to have a bit of a problem. But if you go to vwbpe.org, which is the site I've got open there at the moment, there are various bits you can get to. I'm simply showing you the above the book page, and there was a session was called "What's New at the Lab," featuring Abby Altberg here and Patch Linden. Patch Linden was pretty much the president or vice president of product at Linden Lab, and Abby Altberg is obviously chief of the lab, CEO of the lab. Full stop. And they both joined me for quite a big talk, even though Abby was kept on crashing for the first half. And as I say, you can find that online, but when you do find it, you're probably going to have to bear with it because the first 15 minutes is either silence or stuff you're not meant to hear while we're getting ready. Okay, and also yesterday, I did an interview with Alice Kruger. You can see here. She's known as Gentle Heron in the world, and she's president of Virtual Ability, a real world nonprofit in Second Life, and they look up about combat isolation, which commonly besets people with significant disabilities, etc., etc. Very interesting talk I had with her. Okay, so vwbpe.org for more on that. Right, where are we here? Yeah, virtualrealityreporter.com. Three words there. Three big words. Well, mediumly big words, all squashed together as one. Virtual Reality Reporter. Uh, .com. Revenues for mixed reality tech for learning spike to 15.6 billion US dollars by the year 2025. Let me see. Well, I don't know whether there's an actual date on this post. Yeah, it's actually a report. Uh, it takes 281 pages and 31 forecast tables and 13 charts to give us that information. Gosh, don't report writers love whatever they do. Right. The immersion spectrum is described in the AR VR simulation immersion spectrum section of the report, mixed reality or XR, blah, blah, blah. The interesting thing about this is that it's a pretty heavyweight report, but the report would have been written from the sound of it and certainly compiled long before the coronavirus threat took over the planet. And I've got this to say, for learning especially, I've got a feeling that those figures for 2025 may actually be an underestimate, especially in that technology, I would think is going to gain a huge boost over the next couple of years, while we're not able to do things out of our environments. So we will see, we will see. But you can find that at virtualrealityreporter.com. Right, back to uploadvr.com. That's uploadvr.com. Regular site for us. It's another post about Manus Polygon. Okay, mixing full VR body and hand tracking for multiplayer use. Don't know why we've got this one up twice. Probably because it's probably a slightly different article based on the same press release. And yeah, we'll see. There's also embed here for their VR culture show. which was quite nice listening to. Upload VR do quite a few cartoon broadcasts at the moment. Right. Now, I mentioned earlier we may include a bit of news from the Second Life platform of Linden Labs. The main news at the moment, I covered this during the week with them, yeah, it was already news last week, but this is actually a post at engadget.com. That's engadget.com, one of the mainstream sort of sites that covers VR and a whole lot more. And they point their article is why Second Life developer Linden Lab gave up on its VR spin-off. The spin-off was called Sansar, for those who don't know, and the lab decided that Linden Lab wanted to become more cash positive. I think that's a polite way of saying it was using up a lot of money, which we'd rather keep.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a picture from Sansar. They have now officially sold it. Now, interestingly enough, it seems that the deal, or that whether it's part of the deal, I'm not quite sure, but it seems that many of Linden Labs employees that were working on Sansar have actually moved and whether it's officially as part of the package, I don't know. But basically, a lot of Samsung's employees at Linden Lab are actually effectively now working for the new company. The new company is completely separate from Linden Lab, and do you believe it? I've forgotten the name of the company, and it looks like this article doesn't mention it.
It's Wookiee.
Uh, Woogie, that's right, as in Star Wars furry things. That's a woo, isn't that furry
Not
thing?
spelled the same, but similar sounding for sure.
Okay, well, the Wookiee company has taken over Sansar. So there you go. And apparently, the basic mission statement is very much the same sort of thing, destinations and entertainment venues and stuff like that. No particular emphasis on social spaces per se. But then again, Samsung has always been one of the sort of platforms where, to a certain extent, you have to construct it before you bring it online. So it's limited in how much interaction can take place in real time in 3D amongst users there simultaneously. Anyway, quite a big article here telling you about lots of quotes from Ebe and stuff like that. A few screenshots of different places that were on Sansar, and a whole load more. They also talk about the different shifts that it had over the time, and your world is waiting. Meet the all new Sansar, and let's show you this rather quickly.
Today, we live in an amazing time, but I want to see what's happening tomorrow. And I want to get there first. This is the future, where you can literally walk into new worlds.
I'm an adventurer. Dark Elf Forest? That's my jam. High Mountain Ice Cave? Let's see who's home. NPC villagers? Give me a quest.
Ah, the devs, modders, craftsmen, builders, the makers. These are my people. We can build a home, produce a festival, or design an entire adventure.
Let's go beyond a game. I'm talking clubs and concerts and exclusive VIP events with celebrities, streamers, players, all in the same place. This is the frontier. I found my world. Come find yours.
So there you go. That is the new pitch for Sansar from the new owners, and there are various other videos
And it
here.
still says play for free. Interesting.
Yeah, most of the other videos here are actually videos of Sansar when it was still owned by Linden. Yes, I don't know. I mean, there's certainly money involved because they're sharing the Linden Lab system Tilia, which it turns assets into real world cash kind of thing. Um, yeah. Um, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I suspect wisely that they will use some kind of PR that shows the best of what Sansar has been. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Kitely.
Oh, right.
Okay, it's now telling me I'm not going to be disconnected.
All right.
Yeah, I just got a message from the Kitely Virtual World platform where I'm sitting saying, "Are you there?" And I said, "Yes, I'm here. Come on, I'm here." And with 3 clicks, it went away. Yeah,
They're asking you to pay
so
for
I'm
a
here.
membership.
I know, and it's now going to not
It's
disconnect
not
me.
going to motivate you, huh?
It's not going to motivate me. Hey, come on. Certainly not motivating me.
All right.
Even threatening to disconnect me. What the hell? Right.
Well,
Okay.
and only because you're idle. So we should say
I
that.
have you know I'm not idle. I'm rabbiting away here, reporting on websites, doing all sorts of stuff,
I
and
wonder
my
if
and my hands are fiddling.
I wonder if your jaw was moving. Would that count as idle time? Speculation. Idle speculation.
Idle indeed. Who do they think they are? Calling me idle. I'm not having it. Let me move on. Let me move on
Mm-hmm.
before I go into the rabbit hole, which I haven't done today, and I don't really plan on doing. Okay, Sansar has left Linden Lab, and Wookiee's CEO, oh, lives in the same town as Ebby Holberg. Interesting, which probably helped seal the deal. Ooh, I didn't know that. Right, okay. So I'll read all about this at engadget.com, Engadget. You can probably read more about it here than you can read on Lyndon Loud's own website. So good article there. Right, and finally, well, sort of finally, anyway, the most recent post from my Melbourne Street this week is a guest editorial at uploadvr.com. So it's uploadvr.com. We need to talk about the ethics of VR now before it's too late. And this would probably be an interesting sort of piece to read at any point in time. But given the fact that VR may be about to accelerate beyond what might have been anticipated, then, as they say, now better now than when it's too late. Ethics, ethics, ethics. So there you go. Right. Now, I had a site here that didn't come up earlier. Let's just see if it will come up now. Yeah, here we are. A famous art dealer's son is launching a new platform for galleries to create photo reality exhibitions using 3D scan technology. Very quickly, you'll find this at news.artnet, artnet.com. And it is something else that, it's not a VR or social worlds as it's done it again. Right, it's gone. But I'm sure you can read it on a normal browser. It doesn't misbehave like mine is at the moment. It's another thing for the at-home situation. I've seen a lot of art sites, very traditional sites like the Art Newspaper, and then more avant-garde art sites and stuff, advertising, things they're now doing online, both by way of instead of real life, but also by way of experimentation. And in my Facebook feed, for example, which is a separate thing entirely from what I cover here, I've been posting links to, all sorts of things like, London Ballet, the National Theatre, Shakespeare, all sorts of traditional theatre sort of venues that have actually been streaming their shows. Some of them for free, by the way, in the absence of being able to go on stage in the real world. So, you've been, if anything, this has been a week where those of you with time on your hands who haven't been in virtual worlds at education conferences or the like might have actually had the opportunity to stream some live theatre, ballet, and stuff like that onto your TVs or at least computer screens. So, swings and roundabouts, as they say. Um, you know, basically, it's the transition point, where people are now who have not been online before are now getting used to the fact that whatever they do artistically, creatively, business wise, has to be online from now on, and it's going to be a major turning point, I believe. And yeah, there was okay, there were two other pieces. Um, Yeah, if there is, I'm not going to load them. I'm very nervous about clicking tabs here at the moment. But modemworld.me, that's MODEMWORLD.me. This is Nara Pay's blog, and she also has a post on Linden Lad confirming the sale of Sansar to the Wookiee Project Core. And if you go to altvr.com, that's altvr.com, um, there, well, the post here says Old Space VR, our best experiences are shared. I'm going to risk loading this. Both these posts are in the Metaworld news feed. There we are. It's actually the Old Space VR blog. And what they're talking about here specifically is they've released updates to enable ticketing events, private meetings, and conference, all of which they did on Thursday. And you can read more about it on their blog there, which is well, to get to it, as I said, you just go to altvr.com. So yeah, and as you'll see, shock horror, Alt Space VR does actually have kit below the belt. Can you see that, folks?
Hmm.
Isn't that interesting? They are not legless. Yeah, they've got legs.
Are you
Let's
going
make
back
it a
to
start.
Microsoft?
Let's make it a start. Well, I think we'll just forget the connection there temporarily, can we? I'm sure
Okay.
it'll
Well,
collapse
that's
shortly.
convenient. Okay. Okay.
It'd be like Skype and Teams, both of which
Right. Right.
have not functioned this week
Right.
properly. So I must tell our viewers that don't rely on me to assure you that this platform is up and running and doing what they say they're doing, because they are connected with a very unreliable parent company. Is that a safe way of putting it without getting myself sued?
Ask me about my
I
ask me about
actually,
my
to be,
3 hour restart yesterday of my Windows computer, and I'll
oh
tell you.
God, I don't care if they sue me anywhere. They'll be dead. I'll be dead before it gets to court.
Just stick to the facts. Just the facts.
Just the facts and the furies. Yes. Enough is said, really. Rooms are made for crowds of up to 70 people. We can do presentations, and they have something called front row technology, which is for events with more than 70 people. You mean you get 70 people on the whole front row? Come on. Well, maybe it's a long shaped venue.
Yeah,
Don't
at the
know.
conference yesterday, we learned that they use slides.com as their slide sharing tool, but that's the only
Huh?
service that they use for sharing the screens.
Oh, so you can't just take anything of your own on the
Oh,
web
oh heavens no.
and put it. Oh heavens, no! Right,
Heavens no.
okay. You will obviously, yeah. Okay, James. I'll ask you any comments because we're at the end here of the stuff on what I've shown so far. But also, as somebody who was also apart from doing the filming with me of the main keynotes and stuff, you were actually, I noticed, popping around filming all over the place with the volunteer team.
Yeah,
So
and participating.
you it sounds like you actually saw some interesting things I didn't. So if you've got any comments on those while we're here, that'd be
Well,
interesting things you
I would
saw.
say for me the highlight was by Val Librarian did a presentation with Bethany and oh I'm sorry the name escapes me my old brain but
Okay.
they reviewed platforms. They did a survey of virtual world platforms in VR for education, and there was a lot of good
Ah,
information in there. And
is
if
this
you
the
can
one
watch
that
the
they?
recording, I definitely recommend taking a look.
Is this the one they did simultaneously in Discord? Or was that another one?
No, no, I don't know about
I
that.
actually got an invite to a Discord virtual library or something Discord channel this morning, and I got it this morning simply because I wanted to see it last night. I was too busy,
Yep.
I noticed one that was set up to work with the people at the venue while they were doing their VWBP presentation.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. There's a few, Vala Berrin is there, Joyce Betancourt, a few familiar faces. It doesn't seem like an overly crowded Discord, but there you go. All right. Yeah, anything else? Anything else for the. How was that above the book sessions?
Well, I
that
don't
I
know
heard
about that
about.
host. That host's a
Yeah,
he's a colorful fellow. So
yeah. I
which
don't think
one
he
too?
was
There were two
altogether
of
on
them.
form. I don't think he was altogether on form this week.
At least his
But
health was good.
you want a bear?
Yeah,
Croaky, croaky, coughy, cough. Splutter,
yeah.
splutter, stop, stop, stop. Oh, we'll invent a nursery rhyme about this one day. What was it? A mesh mesh mal, or is
Mess
it mal the
mess
mesh
mesh.
mesh
Yep,
mesh 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 mal? Yes, right.
I like it.
You did. I can't even. I would probably go with it if I could actually get my tongue around it. But there we go. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Okay. So any thoughts on the rest of the stuff, or that's just
I
I
did
don't
like
really.
the keynote with the woman from Van Fossen from about
Oh,
the VR educators conference. That was
yes,
quite good.
absolutely.
Yeah,
She was really beautiful and bouncy, kind of
and such
thing.
enthusiasm, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and actually at the end there, you must have been there. I mentioned, oh, we do shows here, there, and there. Well, we should go and try that. And she immediately started bouncing up and down, saying, yes, 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 bring all the old stuff too.
Yep. And where would that be? That would be in
I'm not
Altspace
sure. I'm
VR.
not sure. You see, they actually used for that conference several different platforms. I think they had Adult Space VR, VR Chat, but the one that I particularly more hooked on is no, it's not Immerse. It's
Engage.
Engage.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, they primarily
Um,
used Altspace and Engage a little bit more, and then a couple other small ones. But Altspace
yeah.
was their primary focus.
I think the two of us, should hop over to Engage at some point and just have a nose around because I mean, we've been to a few and concluded that we don't have camera controls that's adequate and stuff like that. But
Right. Right.
um, I like the look of Engage for sure. It's not quite
Yeah,
like
it looks
what we're
more like
used to, but
ScienceSpace and Sansar, and yep.
yeah, exactly. It's got that kind of semi-realistic, well, a good graphical quality basically, and something where but the avatars don't look the same, and they do have legs. Yes,
Indeed.
that is another major point.
Right.
They not only have variety, but they have legs, rather like human beings. Actually, these human beings that kind of inhabited that planet before it got the plague, they were a bit like that too, weren't they? They have sort of moving heads and mouths and noses and hands and legs, and they all like to look a bit different from each other. Yeah, bit like them, bit like them. Oh dear, oh dear. Silence rules. Silence. Yes. Okay, well, I think we've had it for today. That's your news. As I said, there wasn't a great deal this week, but it has been an interesting week one way or other. I think every week for the near future is going to be interesting one way or another, if they continue to
In the
happen, that is.
future, right?
Uh, yes, exactly. If there are any weeks left in the near future. It is in Britain now, as of last night, we are on British summertime, and the same throughout Europe. America, well, there's rare instances where America became before the rest of the world for once. They've been on it for 3 weeks, I think. But now we're back on summertime. And the weather forecast in Britain announced snow. We've had our floods and we've had the winds and gales over the last couple of days. In the south of England, it is hailstones and wetness. And in the north of England, it is, will you believe, nearly April the 1st and we've got snow.
Snow. My goodness.
Ah, but the good news is, actually, surprisingly good news, is that because we're all locked away at home and we're not moving around and doing all the stuff that would involve spreading this virus around, in the space of a couple of weeks, the health, the ecological health, the environmental health of the planet has improved.
Hmm.
Pollution is way, way down. So, two sides to every coin, I suppose. I
Yeah.
mean, if you just
Rivers are getting clear. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, wipe out the whole human race and we'll have a perfect planet again. Or
Yep.
rather, we won't have it, but something will have it.
Well, if all humans
Yes.
go into VR, then maybe
Yeah,
that'll
we can go into VR and all the wonderful critters on the planet can take over the world because they're not being affected by it.
right.
Even the bat that gave it to us doesn't seem to be affected by it.
You're right.
Just, oh dear, we can't go on forever about this. But anyway, there, look on the bright side. The environment is improving, even without going into VR, simply because we're now having to consider it. Anyway, we will return, hopefully, we will return, same time, same place next week. In the meantime, it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him.
So, from both of us, have a good week and stay at home, keep safe, and all the rest of it. And we'll see you soon. Bye bye.